So 3DO was really the device that announced that they were, in a big way, going to start making CD-ROM-based video game machines. There was another system called the Turbo Duo, but it came out in Japan, and it had a CD-ROM player. And that was the first time on a video game I heard an actual audio score like an orchestra or like a band, right? It was like real music, not do-do-do-do-do-do-do, you know, not chipped music, but it was real recorded music being played back. And the fidelity of the graphics was a little better. So the announcement of the 3DO meant the power was there and the capacity to store on a disk was suddenly 600 megabytes, not 512K.
This is Rupture Farms. They say it's the biggest meat processing plant on Oddworld.
I wasn't really interested in games at all in making them. The idea never occurred to me. And it still didn't occur to me until I was in the film business for a while. And I was looking at how do I take my desire to create virtual worlds, meaning fantasy worlds or worlds of the imagination, and convert that using 3D computer graphics into stories I want to tell, into characters that I'd like to develop, and into money I'd like to make. And that's what transitioned my brief history, let's say 7 years of computer animation traditionally, into wanting to start a video game company. Now, I hadn't seen a PlayStation yet, but it gave me the faith to say, okay, this stuff is getting real, and I understand Hollywood enough, I believe, to understand what I think is going to happen with video games. And that really gave me the inertia to say, if we don't do it now, we're not going to be able to later. And so that was 92, I started convincing Sherry and McKenna, we need to start a game company.
Lorne comes to my house in the Hollywood Hills, and we're sitting by the pool because I'm Hollywood. And Lorne says, you know, I've got this just really great idea. And I go, okay, tell me what it is, because I love stories. So he tells me this awesome idea. I'm telling you, it was such a great idea. And it was just like a reflection of what was going wrong with the world.
The Gluckins were scared, 'cause prophets were grim.
And I went, oh man, this is so awesome. We can make 5 movies. And he goes, yeah, no, we're going to do 5 games. And I went, games? What are games? He goes, you know, video games? And I went, no, I don't know. And then I saw the PlayStation. And I thought, I don't know, maybe we can do, maybe we could do really good computer graphics for video games.
When some big face appeared and said I was dead. Said our land was changing, was imbalanced at best. He told me my fate was to rescue the rest.
When we actually started the production of the game, we had 2 types of people. We had people that had come with us from Hollywood, and then we had people that were acquired through the game industry. And with Sherry, I would tell her the stories and we would talk about it. And at a certain point, she had said, well, it's really, in games today, aggression equals rewards. And what you're talking about, Lorne, is really empathy can equal rewards. And I was like, that's it. That's the mark. And I think if we can do that, then we can bring a wider audience to gaming and still have the challenging aspects that make gaming great. But we can bring a bit more of the epic storytelling to it, and a bit more of Hollywood production design and Hollywood animation values.
I'm telling a story. Oddworld's games are going to be about a story, and the vehicle that we're going to use to tell that story is going to be a video game. And in those days, the only way to do it was with the cutscenes. So to tell the story, which is all I care about, touching people. You can't do it in a side scroller where they're bombing and killing. And no, it's about telling a story. So those cinematics, those cutscenes, yeah, they had to be the same quality as when I came from that industry.
Yeah. Well, I rescued Budakins. But who's gonna rescue me?